and go into the semifinal round. This was this was the game of the year. This game right here between the United States and Serbia. Game of the year. So much fun watching this. Probably the most fun I've had watching United States basketball ever. Like, in a very long time. Since Kobe. And even then, all of those games with Kobe and LeBron in the Olympics, they were all blowouts. And, I mean, aside from that, this one was not a blowout. It was far from a blowout. The United States actually started out losing. They went into the second half down by double digits. And for the majority of the game, they were down by double digits. It took a masterclass performance from Steph, Kevin Durant, and LeBron James to just make the comeback in the end. And yes, it was those three that the United States went to close the game out. They didn't go to Anthony Davis. They didn't go to Joel Embiid. They didn't go to Anthony Edwards. Didn't go to Jason Tatum. Definitely didn't go to Jason Tatum. Good Lord, he gets slandered too much. Didn't go to Drew. Didn't go to Derek. Didn't go to Devin Booker. None of them. It went to LeBron James, and it went to Steph Curry, and it went to Kevin Durant. And seeing those three play in the exact same jersey, and seeing those three perform the way that they did and answer the call when no one else was answering the call was just like, the child in me was going berserk, because it's like, this is the first time that we've actually seen all three of them on the exact same team. And it was nothing short of amazing. Like, these guys played phenomenally. And for the majority of the game, it was the starters in the game. Now, really, as a fan, this game was great. But as an analyst, this game was horrible. I was furious throughout the majority of this game because several things went wrong. For one, the rotations were awful. That's one thing. Two, the rotations were awful. And three, the rotations were awful. That is everything that went wrong in this game. Serbia just, in the first half, they literally couldn't miss. They barely missed in the first half. They were hitting three after three after three, and it was just maddening to watch because Steve Kerr refused to make any kind of substitutions, and no one on the team was really doing much. If it weren't for LeBron and if it weren't for Steph Curry, we would have lost this game. Steph Curry had a masterclass, 36 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. Arguably the only three-point shooter on the entire United States team. He ended the game with 9 three-pointers. This is the most that any player has hit in the Olympics, which is insane. Now, LeBron, nothing to scoff at for LeBron either. LeBron ended the game with 16 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists, a triple-double. He is the only player in Olympic basketball history to drop multiple triple-doubles in Olympic play. Now, the other player that dropped a triple-double, the most recent one actually, was Luka Doncic. But LeBron, he ends up being the only player with multiple triple-doubles in the Olympics, which, further adds to his greatness on the court. And let's see, another player that stepped up exactly when we needed him to, Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid, throughout most of the regular season, he always, dominates him. He always dominates Jokic. Like, most of the time, those games are in Philly, but regardless, Joel Embiid plays very well when Jokic is guarding him, And he ended the game with 19 points, was 8 for 11 from the field, and was also ended the game with 2 assists as well as 4 rebounds. Now, I mentioned Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant he didn't really score all that many points. He only scored 9, but he did hit the dagger in the final minutes of the game, which sealed the game and, helped the United States win in the end. And another thing that should also be mentioned was that the bench only scored 6 points. Not counting Kevin Durant, the bench scored 6 points in this game. With having an Avengers team score only 6 points off the bench is disgusting. It should never happen. And part of the reason why the bench scoring was so low was because they kept giving minutes to Derek White, they kept giving minutes to Drew Holiday, they kept giving minutes to Bam. Like, Drew played 20 minutes. Drew has no business playing that long when there are so many other players coming off the bench that can just be better. And Derek White was only in there for 6 minutes, and those 6 minutes were agony. He couldn't defend a parked car. And that really says a lot because defense is the strongest part of his game. Bogdanovic, he was on a completely different level. This man was possessed. He had 20 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. And remember how in the last podcast I said that the United States were trying to limit Jokic's assists? Well, that didn't work. Jokic ended the game with 11 assists, 5 rebounds, and 17 points, which just goes to show just how ridiculous Serbia was from shooting the ball. Like, most of their points were scored most of their 3 balls were scored in the first half. After the first half, they couldn't hit a single 3 to save their life. And if they were to actually hit a little bit more 3s, they would have won this game, which just is unnecessary, unheard of. I'm going to go deeper into that in the next segment, but I'm mainly going to talk about this as a whole. This game should never have been as close as it was. But the fact that it was really close, it was a very fun game to watch. Again, Steph Curry, he had a masterclass. This was his game. He scored more points in this game than he did in the last 3 group play games, which, thank the Lord he did, because we really needed him to play and we really needed him to step up the way that he did. LeBron, he always plays fantastic. But this is just like, it should never have gotten to this. It really should never have gotten to this. But I'm glad that it did. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of this game, because, this was a phenomenal game. Now, dating all the way back to 2008, LeBron James has now won 20 straight winner-take-all games. He's 6-0 in Game 7s, 8-0 in the Olympics, 3-0 in the play-in, and 3-0 in the in-season tournament. So he's just, padding his legacy a little bit there. And on top of that, this triple-double performance that he had in this game, let me just go ahead and pull up his stats. The triple-double performances is exactly 12 years apart from his last triple-double in the Olympics against Australia back in 2012, when he dropped 11 points, 14 rebounds, and 12 assists against Australia. So, if you want a GOAT, you want the greatest basketball player ever, he's him. He's right there. The longevity is there, the stats are there, the Olympic performances are there, everything that you could possibly check off of any kind of player's resume, it's all there. Like, he is a completely different monster. And now we're looking forward to the matchup between France and the United States in the finals. Now, I wanted to just, point out to everyone that this was my prediction throughout the entirety of the Olympics. I thought that this was exactly how the bracket was going to look, and it was almost one off because Serbia almost beat the United States. But aside from that, I was right. Whoopee, yay me, and thank the Lord. This is like the first time that I've actually ever gotten a bracket in any tournament, flawlessly right. And I guess it's not really fair because these Olympic matchups in basketball, it's like exactly who's going to win. Like, aside from Canada and France, that was like the only time when I had no idea who was going to win. And I was a little bit scared against the United States and Serbia, but hoorah, America, USA, thank the Lord that the United States ended up winning. Jesus, it was insane. The game was, you had to be there. You had to watch the game. You had to, just to understand exactly how crazy it was. Because it's just like, what was happening, it shouldn't have happened. And I'm going to go a little bit further into that in this next segment where I talk about Jason Tatum and his minutes and how he just he did not play at all in that game. And I'm just going to go ahead and talk a little bit about that right after this short break. Be sure to stay tuned.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift. Oh.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the